For those of you guys just joining us, Melanie, I know you're gone today. Hope you're doing all right today. But also for the kids in class. Their opener, back to their getting ready for our review today and trying to avoid as many mistakes as possible for test and breaking it down.
2 sevens.
Is anybody realizing? Is anybody realizing these factoring trees can get really long?
No, maybe 3.
Now, does anybody have a strategy? Not that anyone has to follow it. Does anyone have a strategy that makes their factoring tree shorter?
No.
No? Yeah, you could have divided by 4 and then just broken 4 down to be 2 and 2. Or you could have made 64 8 times 8 and then broken 8s down, but you could just keep dividing by 2 again and again and again and again. Is it going to work? Yes. I'm just making sure we're good right here. Do you know what I do just to make sure that I have them all? I bring them all down. What did I mean by factoring completely? Thanks for going behind. Figuring out what power of 2 this number is. If we count carefully, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, did you guys figure out it was 2 to the 7?
Yeah.
Sweet. Break down 625. Break it down, break it down. Andrew Swan, from now on, look at my desk real quick, Ben. There's more to
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. There's like staplers in both places, tape in both places, tissues in both places. That way we don't have to. Sadly, only one pencil. Alright, break down 625, and then you still gotta solve for x. Guys, the problem was I had to mark things wrong because you guys didn't know how to break numbers down, and you didn't know how to solve for x perfectly.
What's that little? 2 to 7.
Yeah. My exponents sometimes get a little messy. 2 to the 7.
Divide by 2.
Well, you can try to divide by 2, but is it going to work if there's a 5 at the end?
So 3.
Oh yeah, you can try 3. Or if it doesn't work, you can try 2, you can try 3, you can try 5.
Good job.
You guys can laugh all you want, but it wasn't funny when I was grading quizzes. You can do this, break it down. No, I'm not trying to attack. I'm just trying to let you know why this is important. As you guys are doing it, can I show you an example of a problem on a quiz? Keep doing it.
Yes.
Keep doing the basics. I'll show you an example of what I saw that I got really scared about. That's making me have you guys go back to the basics. You're all going to see your quizzes tomorrow. We're going to do that whole, take another version of the quiz tomorrow and get points back. Working in our groups, not working alone, seeing the answer key to the old quiz, having your old quizzes to look at. That's tomorrow. Look. Alexis, assuming you're done with all 4 problems. Almost. Well, because there's A and B and A and B. There's 4 problems. Do you need to open the door? I
How many hours? Are you serious? That's your final answer. That's your final answer. Actually, I'm ready for it to be done right now.
Alright, Missy, all four? All four done? I see some red sequels.
Oh, I'm writing down the X.
Okay, good. Give me at least one of them. I need to make sure that you guys know the basics. Carefully, go carefully. Can't even do make sure you can solve that. Oh yeah, I don't mind fractions. I love fractions. If they're the right answer, I love fractions. Grab out your 6-7 worksheet if you are done with your opener. While a few people are still finishing, my mostly distracting. One, grab out your worksheet, the puzzle time.
Wait, we didn't speak.
Oh, wait, I know.
Alright, worksheets are out and ready to grade, but let's finish the opener first. Adrian, back in your seat, please. Back in your seat, please. Real quick, you're not supposed to back there anyway. The sun's shining on you right where you are. Okay, so as we're doing the opener, I want you guys to be looking here. The opener had to do partially with this problem on the quiz. And there's another one that I could have written out too. The other one I wrote out too would have to do with why I'm asking you about the solving for x1. But I saw people making lots of basic mistakes. I want you guys to be thinking, what are the mistake or mistakes that they've made in the very first step? But first, can we come over here? If we're going to break down 625, Alexis said divide by 5, and I agreed with her. Alexis, what did you get when you divided by 5?
125.
And 125, just 5 going again?
Yeah.
Pause.
25.
Why? Why? If this is the type of problem from the, we only have 3 sections on this test guide. 6-5, 6-6, 6-7. This is 6-5-7. Solving equations for x. Why am I having you break down numbers and make sure that you can break them down? For problems like this, what's the goal? What do we want to do before we're able to start solving for x? Well, we're breaking it down. That's how we do it. But what are we trying to get? What do we want? Okay, we want the bases to match, right?
Yes.
We want this one to be a 4 to the, and that one to be a 4 to the, or this one to be a 2 to the, and this one to be a 2 to the. So if I'm having you break down numbers for that section, guess what's always going to happen? They break down perfectly, which means there's a 5, guess what? There's another 5 right now. When you try to divide by 5 again, you got 25. When you try to divide by 5 again, you get another 5. 5's all over the place. Why? Because you're going to try and break him down to get 5 as an exponent, right? Yeah? Okay, so what did someone, and there were multiple people that did something like this that was all messed up. Jonathan, I saw your hand a second ago. What's one mistake you saw?
They forgot to put the negative in the
Nice. There are 2 mistakes, not just one. Okay, Andrew, you see it? It's important. Jonathan's calling out the mistake of they forgot to put a negative up here. Because whenever we have 1 over 4, in order to have it just be 4, which is totally what we want, because this guy's going to be a 4 to the, I need to put a negative exponent. Another way of seeing it is I could make it 4 to the negative 1. That's another way of writing 1/4 to the x, and power to a power we multiply. If you want to see why it needs to be a negative. But that's not the only mistake. Kayla, do you see the other one?
Yeah. It's 4, 8, 5, 6.
Yeah, if you guys think about it, 4 times 4 times 4 times 4, 64 times. You can try in your calculator. It's going to basically make your calculator explode. Like it's literally going to have something probably called overflow where it says it's too big for me. Why? Because
3.40282.
it's huge.
Yeah.
Did you try
It
it?
has an E in there too.
Yeah. E means like times all these decimal places. Like it's huge. What's the E, Andrew?
E is 38.
Woo! So it has a number followed by 38 other numbers. That's huge. Way beyond millions, which only has like 7 digits. 38. Dang. What was the problem though? It wasn't all bad. They divided by 4 and got 64. It's not all bad, but what did they not do? Keep breaking it down. Yeah, we have to break it down to make these bases match, guys, but this is not the way to do it. So that wasn't the right way. We needed to go ahead and we can make this right. Let's get rid of this x. We can make this right with just a couple little baby changes. Break down the 64. It's okay. I know this math in my head, and some of you hopefully do too. We can break it down, break it down, break it down, and we get 4 to the power of 4. This problem wasn't meant to be difficult because as soon as you make the bases match, what can you do? Ignore them. And only look at the exponents. What do you guys see in the exponents? If we've done this thing right and we've broken him down correctly. Negative x equals 4. Well, now we're on the second part of back to the basics. Do you know how to solve for x? Some of you yes, and some of you would have gotten this wrong. Can you divide both sides by? Negative 1. Final answer? X equals negative 4 for the second question on the quiz in that section. Now once again, you guys are all going to see the quizzes tomorrow. There's going to be a second version of the quiz like last time that you can take to try to get some points back. All good things, right? We only have 2 quizzes this time, so you get to focus on those 2. We're not going to go moving around the room. It was way too hard for all of you. You're going to be able to stay in your groups. So these groups are, right now, the seating chart. I decided to keep it in place until the test on Wednesday. Then we're going to totally mix everything up because you guys need some change of everything. Where you sit in the room and the people that you sit by and all that jazz. But we're hanging in here until the test on Wednesday. So tomorrow, in your groups, in your safe place, hopefully. Well, it's a safe place in the sense that like you're used to sitting there, used to having people around you. Maybe not your best friends, but at the same time, at least you've been working together for a bit this year. You're going to be able to see your old quiz, try to find your mistakes. The answer key there'll be one answer key for both quizzes for every single group. And then when you're ready, you're going to go ahead and give me back the answer key, and your whole group can retake the second version of the quiz. Sound good?
Yes.
But what's the goal on these types of problems? If it says solve for x, you want to make what match?
Everything.
The bases, right? The bases. The tops probably aren't going to match, but the bases. But to make the bases match, what do you have to do to these big numbers? Break them down. Now, the problem is, guys, for this section, there's something else that you have to do perfectly to get it completely right. And the other thing you have to do perfectly is solve for x. Can you guys really quickly, in your groups, like in 15 seconds or less, just see what answers your groups have for A and B. Go. While I pop open the door and get some air here. What answers are you getting?
I get them.
Alright, check out my work. Let's see if you were right or wrong as a group. How many people, hold on, I'm learning your brains. I'm learning your brains. I open the door, go get some air in here. I'm learning your brains. Like 5 of you, maybe 6 or 7 of you have come in, and I've actually gotten to kind of listen to you talk math to me, which kind of helps because everybody's brain's a little bit different. How many of you thought of, but some of you haven't gotten that chance yet, so you haven't come in. How many of you thought of adding x? Did you think of adding x?
No.
Oh, a few. A few, yeah, I thought a few. But what did the rest of you guys think? Subtract which one though? The 1 or the 3x?
The one.
Okay. See, everybody's thinking differently. I would have subtracted the 3x, but that's just me. Some of you guys don't like negatives. You would have just added it so you didn't have the negative anymore. And some of you always go for the number and go that way. So here's the problem. When we all go about it a different way, it's hard to check our work. So you need to pay attention to what the final answer is. Let me show you what the final answer is that way.
Hi, Daddy.
Glad you're with us, bud. We're at our opener right now. Go and just catch up with where we are. The final answer should be, what did you guys get?
-4.
Negative? Close. 1/4.
Yes.
I don't mind fractions. I don't mind fractions. Let's see what went wrong. Those of you guys that added x, it would have been okay, because if you added x, now remember, we can only combine like terms. X's can only go with x's, like apples can only go with apples. If I have 3 apples and 1 apple, I have 4 now. If I have 3 x's and 1 x, I have 4 now. But for those of you that subtracted the 1, it would have been okay. You would have gotten the -1 on the other side, and then, hopefully, added the x, because they're separate. They have to stay separate. You would have gotten 4x equals -1. Do you guys see where this answer came from? How do you always solve for x if there's a multiplier? How do you solve for x if there's a multiplication? You have to divide. And remember, I'm not afraid of fractions. I like them better. They're easy. And I like easy things. I'm a math person. Yeah.
Mr. Strick, you're gonna send me.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Now, some of you don't like fractions, so maybe you kind of made it something different. Some of you were like, it's something with a 4. I'll say 4. Be careful. Do your steps. Take your time. This next one. Give me a second. The final answer should be -3. Let's see if you got there and how you got there and whether or not it was legal. How many of you guys thought of adding the 7 first?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. That was probably for a couple reasons. You're used to moving numbers and you don't like the negatives. Then you have gotten x equals 4x. We can only add the 7 to the 2. Now what do you have to do? There's no other way around it. You gotta get the x terms on that side, yeah? So we gotta subtract that 4x, subtract that 4x. Remember, any understood coefficient is 1, just like any understood exponent is 1. What's 1 minus 4? Then the only thing left over here is m. To undo multiplication, we remember it's -3 times x. Dun, 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 dun.
So it's not bad if we like, in the beginning we did -x.
No. Because as long as you go legally, and as long as you're combining x terms with x terms and numbers with numbers, legally adding or subtracting to undo should end up in the same place. All right, if you got at least, ready? At least one of these 4 right before I showed you how to do it, stand up. You got at least 1 right. Stand up. Stand up.
Stand up.
Give other people standing a quick high five. Stand up. Turn.
Oh, wait, I don't know.
Good job, Sean.
If you got at least 2, stay standing. If you got at least 2, stay standing.
Stand up, Sean.
If you got at least 3, stay standing. Oh, it's getting hard.
Oh, no, I did get 2.
If you got all 4 right, stay standing. All 4, stay standing. Woo! All right, grab it. Grab it. But excellent. Look at that. Okay, but pause. Guys, here's the problem. We have a test on Wednesday. And you saw how few people stayed standing the whole time. But what's the problem of what this is?
Not that many people that know.
Basics, right? Now, even though these are the basics, are these important basics? Yeah. They're the difference between right and wrong. All right, here's what we're going to do today. You ready? Don't move. What's homework tonight? You guys see on the board?
Yes.
Chapter 6B, review. You have a review homework tonight that goes over 6.5, 6.6, and 6.7. Yeah, you can take a picture, you can write it down. I don't mind, you're in your homework spirals, right? We have a review homework tonight. But what's the problem? It's been a while since we first started the chapter. It's been like 2 weeks. Change the box. Put it down. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do one sample problem, like each of the 3 sections. We're going to work through it all together. I'm not even going to force you to remember anything. I'm just going to walk it through. And if you have a question, you're going to shout it out, or you're going to raise your hand and be like, whoa, what's it? And you're going to ask me, because, okay, it's been a while, and we have a test coming, you're going to see homework tonight, probably you're like, what am I supposed to do? Right? You're going to ask me today in class if there's something that doesn't make sense. I'm going to do one problem like 6.5, one like 6.6, one like 6.7, maybe I'll sneak in a second here or there. We'll see. But then tonight you're going to work on the review homework. We're going to go over questions in the review homework tomorrow at the beginning of class, and then you're going to have a chance to redo your quizzes from this chapter. Okay? And see how the quizzes go. And then we're going to go over the answers to the quizzes to see what you're still making mistakes on so that you can study those things before the test. So, 2 full days for review. But, once again, if you hear me say it's back to the basics, you know there's a little mistake. And the nice thing about little mistakes, ready, Armando? The nice thing about little mistakes, it can be fixed. Big mistakes, it's going to take a little more work. But little mistakes, no big deal. We got those. So here we go. I want you guys to go in your notes. It's review time. Go on your notes. It's review time. Just a couple of you might be working on homework. I don't mind as long as it's helpful and useful, but please be paying attention and not distracting people around you. But all of us need to write down these 3 problems. Just some people, when I'm explaining them, you might be like, oh, I got it. I understand it. Okay, I'll do homework for a little bit while everybody else listens to her explain. You do have a worksheet out in section 6-7, so we are going to peek at that towards the end of class, but I want to get 165, 166, 167 done so that when you get to the review tonight, there's nothing like totally shocking you as far as I didn't know about that this chapter. Okay, Caleb, did I answer your question? Alright, here we go. 6.5. Let me zoom in. 6.5. It was all about solving. Jeremy, focus. Okay, 6.5. It was all about solving. And Everest, who are we solving for in that problem up there? Who do we need to get alone? Yeah. Now, I saw him squinting. It's a little bit easier that way? Okay. We get that x alone, but the problem is he's stuck in an exponent, and the only way to get that down is if we ignore the base. But the only way to ignore the base is if we can make it. What's the only way we can ignore the base? What are we supposed to do? Because if we can make it match, what can we do? Ignore the base. Now, what is the base of this guy? So guess what I really want on that side? If I can get a 3 over here, I can ignore the base. But the problem is it's not a 3 now. Every time you see a fraction, guys, I'm recording. You can come back and listen to me walk step by step through these problems. But every time you see a fraction, what do I have to do to whatever is in that denominator? Put it to a negative 1. Now that's great and all, but is a 9 a 3? Nope, still doesn't match. But it's closer. But who is 9? Break them down. If you need to, take them off to the side. But some of you know right away 9 is 3 to the power of 2. Now careful. If it's 3 to the power of 2, and if I have a negative 1, don't do 2 minus 1. No. Power to a power, what do we do? Multiply. So I can rewrite that 3 squared to the power of negative 1 as 3 to the negative 2. Now pause, some of you. If you know what you can do next, you kind of turn off your brain and just go into, I don't even know what mode. You're like, yeah, I got this, it's easy. But that's where we made mistakes on the quiz. As soon as we make the bases match, if you need to, it's okay. I won't get too mad, even though it's kind of illegal. You can cross out the 3's. It's okay, it's okay. I say circle this because it's a little bit better mathematically, but either way, what do we get to write next as soon as the bases matches and we're ignoring them?
2 equals x plus 6.
Okay, don't turn off your brain.
On the line?
Oh, it's a negative 1. It's a negative 1. Okay. Yeah, x plus 6 is all in the exponent. It's all small. X plus 6 is all in the exponent. Don't turn off your brains. How do I solve? How many of you guys would add the 2? Evers, what would you do? Evers, would you add the 2 or subtract the 6?
I would subtract.
You would?
Oh wait, no, I would add.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Let's add the 2. If we add the 2, we can only put constants with constants. We get 0 equals x plus 8. That's great and all, but I'm not done until I do what to the 8? Subtract it. So therefore, my final answer is going to be x equals negative 8. Right? Can I write some notes in blue? Or let's do it in green because it's review. Ready? We needed to make the bases. What am I about to write? Match. But to do that, didn't we have to break our numbers down? Now, this one was kind of easy because what was the only number we needed to break down? Just the 9 to make it 3 squared. But hold on, what was the other tricky thing? Anytime we have 1 over, what do we need to make it? To a negative 1 power, right? We got to watch out for those 1 overs and make them negative 1 powers. And we need to break any bigger numbers down. But if we have that, make the bases match. Can't we just ignore the bases and solve for x? Right? Why did I have you go back to the basics? So that you can ace these problems. Because you can if you slow down and take your time. Can you break down numbers? Can you solve for x? Okay? Section 6.5. Got those? Hopefully you got those, right? Let's go section 6.6. Yeah? I'm going to show you a few things on this one. Right now, this problem is actually pretty easy. Because what's it only telling me to do? Write the next 3 terms. All right, cool. I don't mind. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. Who can find me the pattern? Times 3 every single time, right? Now, a couple of reminders. That means, since this is a sequence with a pattern of times 3, doesn't that mean R equals 3? The common ratio equals 3? And that this is a geo series?
Yeah.
Okay, anytime we have multiplication, some of you did great on this, but some of you never studied it. Geo series, multiply. Arithmetic series, add. Right? But to continue this, any mental mathers out there? Happy the next one? What's 54 times 3? 162. Don't worry, you'll have your calculator tomorrow. Some people can do this in their head. Pretty cool. They go again times 3. I kind of work this way. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 6 is 18. Carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1 is 4. Let's see if anyone else does that too. Can anyone go 1? Times 3 again. 1,400 and I think it's 58. Is that right? Now, can I show you a couple things from section 6.6 though? There is a way of writing this in a formula. And the way to do the formula for the nth term, they didn't actually ask for it in the directions. I get it, but remember, I'm trying to prepare you for the test. In section 6.6, this wasn't with the next and the previous. This wasn't with the little a sub n minus 1 guy. This was from a sub n is equal to a1 times r to the n minus 1. We were just learning who some of these guys are. A sub n is equal to. Here's my question for you. If that's what kind of formula we're trying to get, there were 2 types of formulas this chapter. This one is what we call the explicit formula. The next one in section 6.7 is the recursive one. This is the one that we're trying to get. What goes next? Who's this guy? First term. So who is the first term?
2.
Got him. Right? Who is the R? What's my pattern? 3. To be safe, we always put parentheses around that guy. It's just a lot safer with negative numbers out there and fractions out there. And then the nice thing is, guys, it's so easy. All I have to do is plug in and Now, what if they were to ask you to find, this is something like Homer, a sub 6. Swanson, fish. So, if I'm trying to find a sub 6, some of you are like, oh, that's the 6th term. I'm just going to come up here and do another jumpity jump. And that's really smart. But what if I was to ask you for a sub 20? Oh, let's plug into the formula. All right. Who needs to become 6 in the formula? The n. So I'm going to say, okay, fine. A sub 6, I got this. 2 times 3 to the 6 minus 1. Can I show you another back to the basics mistake that we made? PEMDAS says we must do the power first. We have to ignore this guy until the end. PEMDAS says we have to do the exponent or the power first. We have to, because some of you, a lot of you, I would actually say half to 3/4 of you would say, oh, that's 6 to the, no. You just made it wrong. It's not 6 to the, it's 2 times, I don't know what, let's figure it out. It's 2 times, what power does 3 actually become to? The 5th power. PEMDAS, always exponents before multiplication. So we would have to go into our calculators and actually figure out what 3 to the 5th is, which is technically, 9 and 9 is 81, 81 and 3 is 243, I think. You could double check me. But you would have to do this first, then you can say times 2. And we end up with 486. For any mental math is out there. I had a question and I ignored the question. I'm so sorry. I was trying to get to section 6.7. What was the question I skipped? Andrew.
Saying so the 1 6 8, and so we're finding that. We try to find that, and then we find it.
But for some of you, you might have realized up here, maybe we could have counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, he was right there. Whoops. Well, there are a couple different ways to find some of these guys. We've done 6-5, we've done 6-6. The only one we're missing is the worksheet that's in front of you that I think we're going to end up probably checking for credit tomorrow. 6-7. Write a recursive rule. No, get 6-7. It's the last section of the test. The last practice problem. Whenever we're looking at recursive rule, we're trying to say, who's that guy? And who's this guy? In terms of, remember, A1 is the first, AN is the n, and A sub n minus 1. Some of you got to be so careful. You're doing a bad job of this right now. N minus 1 all needs to be little and down below.
Yes.
He's the previous. Who can find me the first term?
5.
Yeah, easy. A sub n says, what is the pattern? What's the pattern?
7.
Or about 7.
Plus 7.
Okay, that plus 7 is crucial because that means that's an arithmetic, right? As far as what kind of sequence, it's adding 7. But that's easy when I get down here, isn't it?
Yes.
Don't I just have to say previous add 7? Some of you made it so hard. It's done. 6-5, 6-6, 6-7. It's what's on the test on Wednesday. It's what you're going to be practicing tonight in your review. And those quizzes are what we get to try again on tomorrow. Sound good?
Yes.
But the thing is, remember, you don't have to try again by yourself. You get to try again in your groups. But right now, Sunny, hold on. Danny, hold on. Right now, I want you guys to look in your groups because we have about 5 seconds, and I want you to make a commitment to each other that tomorrow you're going to focus because you need to work together to do better on the quiz the second time. Focus. Test on Wednesday. Get out of here, guys. Oh, am I letting you out a whole minute early? Shh, don't tell anyone. Bye, guys.
That's fine.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Oh, wait, are you getting home?
Dice que no me
John.
可以，太可以，可以聊这个。